man. I hate to be all like everybody else, but we are live. So okay, there it is. Hey, I'm here
There we
with
go.
Dan, Filthy Dan from Department of Fear. Man, welcome.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be on. No, we've kind of been
Yeah,
following each other back and forth for a minute now.
yeah. For
So
about a
it's
month or two, I you just came across in one of my notifications, man, and I started checking it out, man, and I liked how real you came off. You know what I mean? You just
yeah,
came off like just a dude, man, that likes film and shit, man, and I love that. 'Cause everybody knows that's definitely
that-
how I am.
that's yeah, that's the only way to do it. Like I don't know, to some extent, you do kind of have to add this little bit of showmanship to it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I find myself not liking it when a lot of channels have that. It feels prepackaged, like some '90s boy band shit. Like
Right.
I like no, we kind of got to be like punk rock about it, you know. Come off as what you see is what you get. I'll cut out some of the bad hiccups, but that's about the prettiest shit you're gonna get.
Right, right, exactly, man. That's people I feel most comfortable with. You know what I mean? Like I knew that I would feel comfortable talking to you. I knew it, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna ask this dude if he wants to do something, and here we are, man.
Yeah,
So I definitely appreciate
hell
it.
yeah, man.
Got people here. We got hey, we got Agoraphobe in the chat. We got Zodiac
Hey,
Z. What's going on? Hey, wait, it was up Ninja. Hey, we got Department of Fear in the chat. Hey, Russell, John Steele.
hell
What's up,
yeah.
Steele?
I
Very
love
cool,
that
very
name,
cool.
by the way. John Steele, resleeved.
Steele's a motherfucker, man. He's a good dude, and you talk about a dude keeping it real, man. He's he'll definitely he'll definitely speak his mind. I love that about him. See, he
Fuck
said
yeah, man.
off the cuff. He said off the cuff is most real. Yeah, definitely. Everybody go and sub to John Steele Sleed, man, and listen to just listen to him talk for a while, man. You'll see what I mean. He and I have done a lot of shit. We did watches and commentary on The Shining, A Clockwork Orange. We did some really Cronenberg. We did The Warriors. So he and I go back with some damn good film.
Hell yeah. Checking that out real quick. John Steele, resleeved.
And I definitely sub to Filthy Dan and Department of Fear, man. I found, like I said, I found him a month or two ago, man. He does some good shit. So
All
um,
right.
we got
Shit, I
Julian.
try, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. Tonight we got final exam. We discussed what to do. I'd never done final exam before, and Dan was like, "Hell yeah, let's just do that." So I said, "Cool." He talked about it's about the most pure slasher, man. I mean, you don't even know why this dude's doing it. He just fucking he just sociopathic and crazy and just wants to kill people. There's no reason. He just does
Yeah. For real,
it. You know,
it's definitely in the vein of like those Halloween knockoffs that were, or not really knockoffs, but like imitators. Those Halloween imitators that were just coming left, right, and center in the late early '80s. But one that
yeah,
feels it has an identity of its own. It adds that little campus element, which if you guys go back and watch some of my stuff, you'll see that I'm a sucker for those campus slashers. Like
oh hell
Scream
yeah,
2 was one film that I kind of threw out there to be like, hey, you want to talk about that one? Because, you know, that's where my love for this little subsect of the slasher films really grew from. But
Dorm the Drip Blood was the same way.
campus slashers all about it.
Pardon?
I'm
You blinked out.
all about the campus slashers.
Very cool, very cool.
The
Yeah.
internet
Oh hell
might be
yeah.
a little wiggy here.
There's another one too. Oh fuck, what is that, man? Hold on. It's shit. Splatter University. Have you seen that?
That one I have not. I've been looking to check that one out
This is
though.
a campus. This is a campus slasher. Check it out.
Oh fucking A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I think is
It's so
definitely
good.
in my list though for films to buy.
Yeah. See, here it is. It says let's see, it says one of the bloodiest and barmiest of all 80s slice and dice shockers. This classic chiller headline '60s scream queen Forbes Riley as a teacher trying to work out why her classes are featuring increasingly less students. A maniacal murder mystery that is not afraid to spill bucket loads of Sanguine. Slaughter University is a fast-paced frightener that turns up the suspense en route to a truly shocking conclusion. It's definitely cheap.
Ooh,
It's early. It's 80s. It's slasher. It's definitely campus, man. So yeah, check it out. Splatter University.
that's definitely one on the. It's in the watch list for sure.
Cool.
And I know one I really like is Graduation Day. I mean that one's stupid as
Yes.
shit, but it's one of those ones. If you don't like those schlocky '80s films, like I don't know if the slasher genre is something for you, but
Right.
it's one of
That's
those
the ones
ones
I
that
have on the
it's
list.
got the gimmick, it's got the kills, it has a uber long music scene just kind of smacked in the middle of the film. It's
Yeah.
just fun, just a
I
lot of
thought more
fun.
people would vote for it. Remember, I had that one as one of the ones to vote for. I thought more people would vote for it, but people voted for the Prowler
Yeah,
a lot more than what I thought they would. I thought that'd be a close run because I had Madman on there, I had this one, I had
yeah,
Graduation Day, and I had the Prowler.
yeah.
So
Because I think it was because of Tom Savini and Vito. I think their involvement is probably why most people were like, "Yep, the Prowler."
yeah,
And I mean, you can't go wrong with heavy hitter names like that.
right,
It's like,
very true.
hey, the Friday Four crew. Why not?
Right, yeah. That was what was going to be going on to tonight, you guys. But as I said before, I held off for the horror of it and pick it up again next Tuesday, and we're on Friday 13th Part 4 because, as you guys know, Sean and I are doing the Friday 13th franchise. I took a break this week. I wanted to do a couple lives with a couple of people I had never done before, that I'd never collabed with. Last night was Daniel, Flesh Wound Daniel from Flesh Wound features. Hopefully, everybody's seen that. If not, go check it out because he's a hell of a guy. And then tonight, working with Filthy Dan and another guy I'd never played. Back to the regular grind next week, but this week I was taking a break from that. Let's see.
Oh,
Hey, Junebug, what's going on? Yeah, we'll start here in the next few minutes. Does everybody have access to it? Does everybody have access? Do you guys have a physical copy? Do you have it on a place where you don't have a lot of ads? It is on Look Movie.
yeah.
Just
I
go to
think
Look
it's
Movie
on
and
Shutter too, is it not?
maybe. But if you want to Look Movie with no ads, I mean, I found it right away. Just go ahead and type in Final Exam 1981. Hey, Sean in here.
Yeah, it should be like the. I think YouTube is actually where I watched it the first time. So
Right.
this is definitely going to be a place where you should find it.
Oh yeah. It's not hard to find, man. It's really not. I'll go ahead and Thursday. We're doing
Yeah,
another
Russ,
episode.
that it is on YouTube.
Cool.
All right.
Thursday, we'll be picking up episode 2 of Trey Canale Rimbalzo, which is roughly translated the 3-channel bounce with Sean Blue Digital and JT's horror discussions. And this time it's JT's choice, and we're going to be doing Fulci's Zombie 3. So catch that. I remember what time that is. It seems like it's 8 or 9 or 10 or something. I don't even remember. We did one episode a couple weeks ago, and that was my choice, and that's when I chose Torso. So I'm now JT has chose Zombie 3. I'm curious what Sean's going to choose from the Italian, the giallo subgenre.
Yeah, that's
Is
a
is
bunch of films I've been slowly getting into recently.
oh
There's
man,
just something real different about them. Beautiful women,
yes.
like the kills are
Well,
beautiful. That like it. I think art, like all the films that I've seen that fall under the giallo sort of umbrella, their artistic is probably the best way to describe them.
yeah, you have to
It's like,
experience an Italian horror film. It's an experience, you know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Especially if you need to you know, because there's Italian horror and gore, and then there's Italian giallo, which Fulci falls more into the horror and the gore, and then
oh
you
yeah,
got Bava and Argento and Sergio Martino, people like that. They're more the giallo, the classic blood and black lace and shit.
yeah. The
But they're
the
all good,
way
man.
I've been trying to get my lady into these too, and the way I kind of pitched them to her is it's like it's just an ultra violent episode of Scooby Doo that runs for like 90 minutes, minus the
Right.
talking dog.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's any episode of Scooby Doo, just with a lot of killing.
Yeah. What ones have you seen? I'm assuming you've seen like Suspiria and all those by now.
Oh yeah. I've seen, for Argento's work, I've seen everything from the Bird with the Crystal Plumage all the way up
Ooh.
to Opera. So
Oh yeah.
like the essential Argento, I've seen that. I've seen a handful of Fulci's films. Again, a lot of those aren't necessarily giallo, but he does have a few that fall under there. I would say
Right.
New York Ripper's definitely a giallo contender. There was
No
one,
pressure,
I'm trying to remember, I think it was called Autopsy, with you have the girl from Four Flies on Grey Velvet in there. That was a interesting little one, a little nightmare experience.
Yeah, that's
The Girl in Room 2A.
Agent
What
Book.
else was there?
Oh, you knew. My fiance in the chat. I'm baby. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Everybody gives that thumbs up, please.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
But yeah, just kind of going through like the giallo classics sort of on the Shudder playlist.
Hell yeah,
and
stuff.
I don't want to burn through those too fast because I don't have nothing else to watch there for the time being. But
a lot of them. Have you seen the
actual Bay of Blood?
Yeah, Bay of Blood. That's what I was gonna say. Considered the very first slasher is Bay of Blood, because I don't consider Psycho's not a slasher, man. Peeping Tom's not. I don't even consider like the original Halloween a slasher. The original Halloween doesn't have enough kills to be a slasher. He's a stalker. In the original Halloween, you walk. You know, he studies you first.
Yeah,
that's how he gets. Slashers is it's stabby stab. Halloween is not stabby stab.
Yeah,
I put it way too.
Yeah, they're definitely the like those films you could call proto slashers, really. Like I find that to be probably a more appropriate term there. It's like
Black Christmas, yeah, shit
or
like
pre-slasher, but it's definitely that would definitely be an interesting topic to have like a little round table discussion on.
Yes, I've been wanting to do that. Yeah, definitely, because I don't feel like Black Christmas is a slasher either. I don't consider the original Nightmare on Elm Street a slasher. I don't consider Chainsaw Massacre a slasher. To me, they're on a different level. They're a different thing.
Yeah,
you know,
they
a lot of people
they definitely play more on the sort of emotional and psychological bits, especially because you don't see a lot of the actual violence in those films. It's the implication, like you hear the violence and you hear the screams. In Texas Chainsaw, you don't see blood really until Franklin's death, if I'm remembering correctly. Like you see blood splatter, but it's dried blood that's already there. But when Franklin dies, you do see a little bit of blood going everywhere. Like I think it's on the flashlight, really. And a little bit on sprays back onto Leatherface there, of course, but you don't really see blood until the dinner scene, mostly.
That is such a good film, dude. That is so brilliantly done because you feel it anytime you feel like you see much more than what you have. Man, that film is another one that I call an experience, man. When you see Chainsaw Massacre, you're getting an experience. It's like you have life before you see Chainsaw Massacre, and then you have life after you see it. Kind of like The Exorcist. It's, just an experience, man. It changes you when you see those films. I think.
100%. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny too because when the first time I saw Tobe Hooper's Chainsaw Massacre, it was in the right before the remake was released. One of my mom's friends had that on us, and I was like, "Hey, I heard about that movie in The Lost Boys. Can I borrow that tape?" So I took it home and watched it, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of people might have had this experience where they watch that and they're thinking, oh, this might be the goriest thing I've ever seen. But you go to rewatch it and it's like, where's all that gore that I remember being here?
It's more macabre,
it's definitely, it's just freaking great.
Psychological,
Oh
Like
yeah,
all the way,
it
all the way from
definitely
John
plays
Lewis
on.
giving them from the time John Lurkett comes on there and gives that little narration to start it out, and then you see him in this, and it feels so. The characters feel so real these days. When you get a movie, you get a lot of characters and they make a lot of smart ass comments to each other, and they don't act like real people. They didn't. The group of kids in Chainsaw, they were just being natural. They were hanging out. She was talking about some Zodiac shit. He's up there driving. She's
Yeah.
sitting there where her brother Franklin's whining and bitching. You know what I mean? It just feels like they're taking a drive somewhere. It just feels so natural, like a documentary. That's the key. That's key. That's what a lot of filmmakers don't understand. Go the simplest route.
Oh yeah.
Don't try to complicate. Go simple. Go natural. John left the
And
John left the chat. He said that that's crazy. Here, let me find this where John says that. John says, "I'm out, yo. There's someone in the chat who knows that I don't gel or rock with. Peace, everyone, enjoy. Damn, that's a shame, Steele, man. Take it easy. Thanks for coming by. Damn, somebody here John does not like. That's the first time I've ever seen him say that. I don't know who that could be, but I won't even try to figure it out. That's between them. See, goes, hey, Sean, join. What's going on, Sean? How you doing, man? Where's Juno? Juno don't join no more, man. What is Juno doing? Juno's a good kid. But is everybody ready for
part of the yeah.
Go ahead, man.
I was just about to say, yeah, I did catch part of the stream you did with Juno a few nights back. I think I was at work when you were doing that one though, so it's hard to keep up with people's streams when you're working.
Yeah.
But
Ninja tries, man. Ninja,
like,
this dude works constantly, and somehow he always ends up sticking his face in and at least saying, "Hey," you know. Ninja's a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, if it slows down enough, you at least got to pop in and say, "Hey guys, I'm here. I ain't gonna be saying nothing, but hello, but I'm working."
Yeah. Right. And see, these are more for the live thing. I think these aren't as good on a rewatch. To me, I've been told, Sean, me and Sean were talking earlier, and Sean mentioned that when you have really long streams, a lot of people won't bother to watch them on the rewatch. And just like I told him, dude, I'm not worried about the views. I'm worried about the experience while it's live and that conversation, everything while it's live. My live streams are about right then. If people want to watch one rewatch, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
But I want to start to do this thing. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it. But after the watch is done, I'm going to sit with the person and maybe invite someone else in, to come and discuss the movie we just watched. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way it's not just to watch and then
there.
You just watch it, and pick someone that definitely watched it along with you, and then have them come in and, the 3 year, 2 year, whatever, just, discuss it for 30, 40, 45 minutes or something. I think that'd be interesting. But that'll be all about the minute, because he's right.
Oh, yeah.
Most people sit around 2-3 hours and watch live stream from last night. I don't care about the view, man.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. If you do, you're gonna be busy and you just need that background noise. It's definitely one of those situations.
Hey, Kyle, what's going on, man? If everybody's ready to get the final exam going, give me a thumbs up in there, and we'll get this rolling, and we'll bullshit why it's going on. Give me the thumbs up, and I'll most definitely get it happening. Oh shit, I got shit with this one.
Man, I am not sure if I'm qualified to be teaching, but we can try it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it'd be cool to do the watch and then talk about it and discuss it after. You know what I mean? Rather than just being a watch and then goodbye. Because
Oh yeah.
I just like talk. I like talk. I like to bullshit. I like to hang out. This is my escape. I get to come on here and talk with everybody, and we got a good circle going. So I think anybody that came in would make a good conversation.
Oh yeah.
All right, get this ready. Shot factory here. I'm gonna go ahead and push play and then pause it right as it's beginning. That way, when okay, we got thumbs up from Juno or Junebug. Where's you guys? Okay, you guys are giving me waves. Does that mean? In other words, are you guys ready? Because I want to keep you guys all night with it because I do want to talk about it too. And if we bullshit too much before, we're gonna be on here 3 hours. So I can be able to talk about it after. All right, let me push play and I'll pull it. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and give a countdown for this. If anybody's not ready, let me know. Okay? You ready, Dan?
We are ready to go.
You cut off. Okay. 5.
Ready to go.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, final exam 1981, everybody. It starts right here, and you're going right across this little one of those little man-made lakes or something. Little pond or something. I guess I'll make this one cool, man.
You don't know what you'll catch in there.
You don't know why this motherfucker's doing this shit. And to me, that's one of the attractions of it. He didn't have no, it's not revenge. He don't got a problem with nobody. He just wants to go to a campus and kill them.
Yeah, I mean, there is an implication of a motive when they're talking about here in a minute. One of the girls in the girl in the car, I think, says something about there was this girl at another school who I think committed suicide, if I remember correctly. And it could be implied that could be the motive, but it's never really connected.
I forgot about that.
Leave you guessing that there is that possibility.
Right. I forgot there was at least a little bit of an explanation.
It could be completely unrelated.
Right. It's kind of cool when they leave your imagination up to you, too. I kind of like that for filmmakers, where they let you figure out something. All things don't have to be spelled out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're smart enough to figure shit out. You know what I mean? I hate filmmakers that point everything out to you like you're a dumbass.
Yeah, it's like if you're making a psychological sort of horror film, point some things out here and there. But if you're making something like a slasher, don't tell us everything that's going on. We can figure it out.
Yeah, like we talk about the original Halloween.
That's not
what we don't know about. It's the best part of the original Halloween. When they started explaining shit about him when he lost his mystique. First Halloween is my favorite film of all time. It's the first one I seen. I seen it about 79 when I was 6 years old, and I've been hooked on horror ever since, man. The original Halloween, it still gives me that feeling when I watch it. And I've seen it hundreds of times.
Yeah, that wasn't the first one I saw, and actually the first horror film I saw was a Halloween film, but it was actually The Curse of Michael Myers. So I do have a soft spot for those sequels.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're definitely in a whole different league that is completely separated from the original film for sure.
What was your thoughts after you'd seen The Curse and all of them, and you probably seen 4 and all that shit after that before you seen the first one? Maybe. What was your thought when you seen the original? Was you thinking, wow, that's a little more tame, or was you thinking, yeah, that's a lot better filmmaking? You know what I mean? It's just there's not as many kills or blood, but it's just so much better. Right?
See, I was probably like 8 when I saw the first Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was probably like 4 or 5 when I saw Curse, but it was about when I was 8. So I was definitely feeling that this is a bit slower.
Yeah.
And it was over a few years that I would actually come to appreciate that one the most.
Okay.
But it was probably when I was 12 that I really started to realize, this is probably the best one of the bunch. And that's when Rob Zombie's Halloween came out.
Right. See, I was opposite. Since I seen the original Halloween first, and I seen The Exorcist early, and Black Christmas and all those, that's where I started. Then I moved into the final exams and the Halloween 4 and all that kind of stuff. So I seen those first. So I went the opposite way. You know what I mean?
Right.
It made me early on in my life at 6, 7 years old have an appreciation for the story building up and then coming to the final climax in the third act. So
yeah.
I love a slow burn. A slow burn done correctly is fabulous, man.
Oh, 100%. And it's definitely one of those things for me I grew to appreciate as I got older and
That's cool.
had to develop a sense of patience, like just in real life stuff outside of the escape that is film. But it's like just some real life experiences kind of give you that sense of patience. So it's like, yeah, I can appreciate a slow burn, let a movie unfold naturally.
Yeah, it's got to be done right though.
Oh yeah.
See what he's saying here. It's all I can do. I think I'll examine. It's decent for what it is. So blah blah blah. Man is threatening Sean with a spanking. Okay, this is getting interesting. I like Curse, man. George Wilbur was good. Yeah, that sounds interesting, man. Do
Rest in
tell me
peace,
more.
George
Yeah.
Wilbur, by the way.
Pardon?
Rest in peace, George Wilbur.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorite Myers, honestly. But that with Curse being the first one I watched, naturally, I'm gonna have that affinity there.
That's just nostalgia. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I had such nostalgia for Richard Brooker that played Jason in Part 3. To me, he's the best Jason Brooker is, and he's the one that died first. And I was like, damn, man, he died young. He got sick, cancer or something.
Yeah.
Like, damn. Because he had like this hunch in his back, and when he walked, his shirt was just a little short, and it made his arm stick to it. He just had a look about it.
Yeah, Part 3 was the first Friday I saw, I believe. No, it was Jason X, and then I saw Part 3. But definitely remember Richard Brooker's Jason was on a whole other level of terrifying.
Just the way he's built and moves, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
His arms came out of that shirt. You know what I mean? He looked wild.
And Ted White was another one that was really scary as Jason. Like he made it look like he's out to really make you feel every last second of that pain. Where Richard, you feel like he'll put you out pretty quickly, but Ted looked like he wanted to make you feel it. He wanted to make it hurt for you.
His hands just look fucked up. Ted White's do. They look like a boogeyman hand, you know? With the dark nails and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the nails that grew like a whole half inch or so over the course of 5 hours.
That's pretty cool, man. He definitely has the right hands for Jason. Those nails just look gnarly. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, Ted White was good. You know, Ted White didn't have an appreciation for Friday 13th for years. He didn't even like talk about the fact that he did it. And then he got a little older, started going to conventions and realized how important these films were to people. You know, and then and then he was like, wow, you know, he realized how appreciated he was. And then he became a fan of that work, and he became very proud of it right before he died. The last 2 years before he died, he had a great appreciation for it, finally, which I liked that.
Yeah, I remember seeing I think it was in the Christmas memories. Like you could see where he's kind of. He definitely let it be known that he wasn't fond of it, but you could tell he was definitely content with where he was at that point in his life.
Right, he was the oldest. He was like 50 something when he played Jason.
Yeah, he was like 58, I think. So he was born in 26. That came out 84. So he was like the only geriatric Jason that we got, which is one of those things where one of the rare occasions where Friday the 13th beat Halloween to the punch on something. Because in the last run of Halloween films, we had the geriatric Myers. So to see we had a geriatric Voorhees was pretty cool. Before it was cool.
But a lot of people. I talked to so many people that consider that the best pure slasher that's ever been made.
Yeah, it's definitely a starting point. Like if someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, what are slasher films and where should I start?" Friday the 13th Part 4 is definitely one you would hand them. Like if you gave them a stack of 5.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think of Slumber Party Massacre. Sleepaway Camp's pretty good with that. You know what I mean? There's just certain ones, man. Pieces. Oh wow.
Yeah, Pieces I have not seen yet, but I'm
really. Oh my god, dude! You got to see Pieces as soon as possible. If I'd have known that, we'd be doing Pieces.
Yeah, that one. That's one that I'm really, really kind of looking forward to. Like, again, slowly working my way into the European sphere. Because I think that was a Spanish film, if I'm not mistaken. It's like I'm more aware of it than I like. There's a lot of movies I'm aware of, but I haven't seen. But I know like enough about them to talk about them for a short period of time.
Pieces is a pure slasher from a guy that looks like the killer from the Giallo. You know, he's got the gloves and the hat and everything. But it's slasher,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's fucking
cool,
yeah. Man. It's got great nude scenes. It's just got the full fucking thing. It's got the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, because I think I've seen the poster where he's like coming through the door with the chainsaw, and you see like the hat and the coat and everything. But it's like he's really poorly lit, but that chainsaw's on full colorful display there.
Oh yeah, and we said Pieces. They ain't fucking around. There's a really cool waterbed kill scene and everything too. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. Waterbed scene, yeah, it's fucking nasty. It's pretty good. I definitely enjoy that. What's your thoughts on shit like the early Jimmy Curtis shit, like Terror Train, Prom Night, shit like that? Do you like those? I prefer Terror Train.
I do like Prom Night. I haven't seen Terror Train enough to compare it to Prom Night. Like I've seen Terror Train probably twice, and it's been a few years since I watched it, and it was one of the shitty rips onto YouTube that I saw,
right?
Where you had the Norwegian subtitles on it. So it's and you're watching it on like a little 4-inch screen, so you're not able to really absorb it, you know. And I've got two copies of Prom Night back here, DVD and a VHS, so it's like I can enjoy those. But it's like Prom Night I really do like though. Which one?
Have you seen Humongous?
That one I have not. That is that the one where I think it's definitely one of those teens lost in the woods types, isn't it?
Well, they get stranded on an island, and Humongous. I mean, he's like a slasher, but he's also a big, huge fucking monster type dude. Kind of like someone. He would have fit well in Hell Night.
Okay. Yeah, that one I know I definitely haven't seen, but I definitely remember when I was sort of trying to figure out what a lot of those early slashers were. That was a title that I did see pop up. Yeah. It was, if I'm not mistaken, that the poster on that one, isn't it like is that the one where it's like a big ass monster's hand coming out of a cradle or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that one, just the poster was enough to kind of freak me out on that one. So it's very cool. I will say it's definitely a good start for it.
Here's the two here's the original VHS and DVD cover to it.
Yep.
And then here is the Scorpion release. Great looking artwork. That's actually a scene from the movie.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna write down some here that I'm definitely going to recommend to you to see.
And hell yeah.
I've got to recommend some of these to you. And see, you hadn't seen Pieces, and you see what else had you seen that I was like, whoa. Did you say you seen Hell Night or no?
Hell Night, yes, I did see that one. That one I enjoyed that one.
Yes.
I remember first time I was watching it, I'm like, Linda Blair's gonna let it all out, right? And that was like my big hope that I was just banking on for the whole movie.
No, you know what? Like, watch Savage Streets for that.
Yeah, that's what I was told on that one.
Watch Savage Streets for that. Yeah, there's a bathtub scene where she's butt ass naked, wet in the bathtub, looking all voluptuous in about 1980. It was her most voluptuous. You know what I mean? She had that nice round. Yeah. She got meat on her butt. You know what I mean? She makes it look so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna write down a list here, man. Because damn, if you ain't seen Pieces, I've got to do some recommendations.
Yeah, Pieces, it's definitely in the watch list already, but like I said, just haven't just haven't.
Yeah.
So,
That's man.
Russell says Pieces is a classic. Bastard, bastard. I guess that's a line from the film there.
Bastard, bastard, bastard.
That goes from some love for Jason Goes to Hell in the chat here too.
Let's see what we got here. Look at, hey Todd, what's going on? Hey Austin, there you guys are. I was wondering Austin was going to come. Y'all be hurt my feelings and shit if you don't show up. You guys know that. You don't want me to cry and whine, do you? No, but see, well, yeah, the kills and the sound effects are vicious. Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell. I don't like Jason Goes to Hell, man, but I haven't seen it in many years, and now they have that cut out of it on the Screen Factory on the set that shows the shit that was cut before. So I'm gonna have to give it another try. I'm open-minded enough to do that.
Yeah, the thing with Jason Goes to Hell is you have to watch that with the Friday the 13th idea sort of removed from it all. Like, you got to think of it as just kind of its own thing. Like, if you can't get behind it, that's the best way I could really recommend it to anybody. But yeah, that Scream Factory set, that was... Oh, Maniac, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched Maniac, it was on Netflix like 10 years ago, and I was like, this sounds like a cheap Psycho knockoff, because the way they summed up the plot, guy with mommy issues and a hatred toward women, it's like, oh, it just sounds like Psycho done in the 80s. Let's check it out. It was an experience.
See here. Yeah, I got a pretty good list of them going here. This is mainly the slashers I'm right now. Since you're, slasher fan and shit. Yeah, I got a pretty good list here. I'll we'll talk about them later. Get back to the task at hand. This part kills me because this reminds me, for some reason, every time I see them do that now, I think about that little trend that went on a few years back, where all the YouTubers were doing all the pranks, like the bank robbery and all that stupid shit, and getting in all that trouble. This prank reminds me of that.
Yeah, and like there's a whole lot that you could really say about this scene. Like, you could probably make a whole discussion video just about this scene. Like, for one, you probably that's probably the most basic thing you could throw out there. But it's one of those things that I'm not sure how people saw it back when this film was fresh and when it came out. But being like somebody who's under 30, like when I see a scene like that, it's like, yeah, that probably didn't age well. Like, I could appreciate it. Like, I don't get butthurt when I see stuff in film, really, but it's like I could see where other people would sort of get that feeling of like, why'd you guys have to go and do that? Like, I could see the argument on either side there, but I don't know. If a filmmaker put this in a film today, I would definitely give him credit for having the balls to do it.
Kitchen chat, see what they're doing here. Hey, Lady J, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming by. Hey, we've got 16, well, we've got 15 in the chat now. Much appreciated, man. You guys can give us that thumbs up, man. It'd be awesome. See, so to make our viewing experience a little better, have you, Chat and Keith or Don, heard of the slasher Seed? Yes, I have heard of Seed. I don't think I've seen it though.
Yeah, that's going to be a big no for me there. I definitely have not seen that one.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I heard someone else talk about it.
I've heard of it either. That will go.
What's so cool about this is you find, I don't know how many films I've found just from hanging out and being on chat and doing live streams. How many films I have learned about and came across just by doing that? Because you get all these, you get
100
different about them, and you're gonna have a lot of different shit you've never seen before.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so Seed. Yeah, I usually have my phone on me when I do lives just because of recommendations, I'll just throw that in my watch list on Letterboxd. You know, that's where where like a lot of people, I keep track of what I'm watching, you know, and what I watch, what I own, all kinds of fun shit you can do on Letterboxd. Seed. Was that the 2007 slasher, Russell?
Let's see.
That's the first thing that comes up, and it seems...
Yeah,
seems
it
about
must
right.
be, because when I heard somebody talk about it, they talked about it like it was at least somewhat recent. You know what I mean? Not a real old one.
Oh, okay.
So that must be it. Because, yeah, that's one I'd like to see, too, because that's the second person in just about the last week that I've heard talk about that. Workout. And you've probably seen Sleepaway Camp in the first Slumber Party Massacre.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did the... It was like a couple of years ago, I actually did the whole Slumber Party trilogy. That it was a trilogy at the time when I reviewed them anyway.
Those are fun. Man.
And the third one was a freaking pain in the ass to find, because I wanted to get a physical copy of it. Like, I don't think I own a single one of those on physical copy. It's going to hurt my neck if I try and check the whole shelf for that. But, yeah, 3... I was only able to find on YouTube, and it was a pretty crappy rip on there.
Right.
And that's one I don't know if I would spend money on it unless they put out like a decent, cheap little box set.
The second one, people just love the fuck out of that second Slumber Party Massacre. To me, I like the original, man. I like the first Slumber Party Massacre. That's my favorite. I think what people like in part 2 is that drill guitar. Yeah, I think that's what people dig the most about it.
Yeah, and I like that you have some of the Friday the 13th girls in there too. And I don't know, it's definitely like if Grease and A Nightmare on Elm Street kind of became their own little fever dream. Like, yeah, that's kind of the impression I get from that.
Right? Because it is kind of like a musical, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I hated the second one really on first watch, but
yeah,
after a while, it started to grow on me. It's like, you know, it's fun. I can take it for what it is, but still kind of in the camp that the first one was the right one.
He's just fantastic, man. And that dude is so fucking great, man. He's like, you're also very, very pretty. I love you. You know, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? It's fantastic. The chick gets hungry and wants to eat the pizza. She's like, life goes on after all. My favorite part of that movie, you know, at the very beginning, all the chicks are having like the basketball practice. Then they go in and shower. While they're showering, the one girl's washing herself with the bar of soap, and she's washing her ass. And right, she's washing her ass. The girl next to her says, "Hey, do you have the soap?" So she washes her ass. She takes that same soap, and she goes, "Oh, here you go." And she goes, "Oh, thank you." And starts washing her neck and shit with it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that because it's been a couple years since I saw that one, so I'm gonna have to definitely check that out again.
What about Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3?
Yes, yeah, I like
fun, man.
The second was one of the shit. I think I cut out there for a second. There we go. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is going to be a little buggy throughout this whole thing, guys, so just bear with me.
That's cool.
But yeah, Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3,
Hey, Jim.
I love the first Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp 2, it's dumb fun. I enjoy it enough. But 3...
Man, was
I don't know, I had a hard time with the third one.
Bruce's sister, right?
Yeah.
It's Bruce Springsteen's sister. That's crazy, isn't it? She does such a great
job.
It
really is.
She takes such great pride in all the killing. I she enjoys that shit. I don't think Melissa Rose could have played that part the same way. You know, the one from the original. I don't think she could have done that. You know, so I think casting was right on that.
Yeah, and
but you can't copy the original Angela though. When you come right down to it, Melissa Rose is the original Angela, but she just stares and is quiet, man. She's creepy as fuck. And I remember seeing that scene as a kid when I was little, about 10 or 11 years old. I seen that scene where she's standing there naked and she got that look on her face and she got that dick, man. That is a life changing scene, man. When you see that, it's like it's like permanently embedded in your mind. That is still the best ending to any slasher movie there's ever been.
That's one that I wish I was able to go in blind to. I was watching Robot Chicken one night, and they had a little segment there where they were doing twist endings. And that was one that popped up in there. I'm like, oh, okay. And I thought nothing of it until I was watching it. I'm like, wait, this was that Robot Chicken parody. The Robot Chicken did this. Yeah, see, I wish I had the luxury of watching a lot of these as they were coming out.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have the massive spoilers when these films were all brand spanking new. But with a lot of them becoming like 40, 50-year-old films now, you know, everybody knows them. So there's not a whole lot really unknown to a lot of people.
Yeah. I guess that's where it's cool to be a little older like I am. You know what I mean? Because I did get to see them as they was coming out. That's one advantage of being older. I don't like being older, but at least I got to see them.
Right. You gotta weigh it out at that point. You take the good with the bad. It's like my knees hurt, but I was able to be sideswiped by who the fuck Mrs. Voorhees was. Jason wasn't a killer yet.
Yeah.
I got to enjoy that.
The first one's different than the whole rest of the series.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whodunit in the original one. And it's a whodunit that you have never even seen yet, which makes it unique. You know, when she pops out of there,
yeah.
You know, usually with whodunits, you see them throughout the movie. With her, you don't see her till the very end when you find out she's the killer. It's got a creepy weirdness to it that the rest of the series doesn't have. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those reveals that I find myself being pretty mixed on. Like, it is interesting on one hand, like you said, that it's kind of, it was new at that point where it's like, hey, here's a new character who's also the killer. It would have been nice to see her at least once in the film, perhaps at the diner at the beginning, just kind of a quick over-the-shoulder look that you would catch on a rewatch.
Yeah.
But nothing too major there, you know?
She's just there, man. And she does a fucking great job. Like, I believe every bit that she's crazier than hell.
Oh, yeah.
She talks to herself in her son's voice, you know what I mean? She talks to herself in her son's fucking voice.
Yeah, that was definitely a freaking bonkers moment there. I like how it's really flipping the whole dichotomy from Psycho too, you know, where you had Norman talking to himself in his mom's voice, so they just they do that same thing but backwards. I mean, this isn't an original thought, guys. Victor Miller, I think, straight up says that's what I was trying to do, guys. So if you guys think I'm some sort of genius, no, I am not. I was regurgitating.
But it worked. You know what I mean? Night, Jay. Tired?
Later, Jay.
She's crashing, I guess. She's leaving us. She's leaving me. Good night, sweet dreams. I agree. I can't picture Puss Rose in the sequel. Yeah, I don't see her playing that same part, but she did great as the original Angela. Pamela Springsteen was a perfect choice, man, because she is just joy about killing these motherfuckers, man. I never seen anybody so happy about it. She goes out like she's getting ready to go on a first date, you know?
Yeah, she definitely knew what kind of movie she was in, that we're not taking it serious at this point. So she definitely was the right choice there, not being too uptight. I don't think anyone really took themselves too seriously in the second and third.
Yeah, they're very self-aware, man. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted out of it. I think that's why the second one turned out so well. The third one I actually enjoy too, but it's not as good as the first two.
Yeah, the third one, like I haven't watched the third one since 2020, and it was like right after the first time I watched it. Like
You need
when
to
I
check.
review movies, I usually give the first watch to enjoy the film and then a critical watch afterward. And
Right.
those were the only times I watched Sleepaway Camp 3, and I it just didn't really do a whole lot for me. It was one where I'm like, this thing is like 80 minutes too long. It needs to end now. And that was one review too, where it's like you could see I'm just going through the motions. I just want to get this one done so I can move on to the next thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
I feel it deserves a fair reevaluation. So
Have you
thinking
seen The
probably
Hills
next
Run
summer I'll
Red?
probably jump into those. For which one?
Have you seen The Hills Run Red? It was made 2 years back. That's not a bad one either, man.
That I
It's
have not.
it was made in 2009. Pretty good.
I think
I've
like
got a little too.
the closest thing I would have to that is this I think it's an asylum film. Where the fuck is it? There we go. Like I haven't even watched all the movies I own here. Like I have a bad habit of acquiring movies before I can even watch them all. So it's like need to slow down on the purchases a little bit. But got one here. I think it's an asylum film, but Hillside Cannibals. I think it was supposed to be cashing in on the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Right.
But like that was the one that kind of came to mind when you said that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, Lady J. Have fun at work there. I mean,
Yeah, take it easy.
fun's
Yeah,
not probably the best word.
I guess going to work's more important than the stream. Damn it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Jay. I'll talk to you later.
There's some
I'll
streams I
catch you
listen
Sunday.
to though where like people will be saying some funny shit, and I work customer service, and if somebody says a real side splitter and you just start laughing at the customer's face and they have no idea why, it's like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be listening to this one right now.
Yeah.
It's like that's happened a few times, so it's like just listen to music while you work mostly. Unless it's a laid back stream, but anything over the top, stay away from that when you're working.
Right. What kind of job do you have?
Right now I'm working a gas station.
Okay.
So kind of like a just basic menial labor. Previously been in manufacturing, but that was there were some issues there, layoffs and all that. And being that I was one of the younger people there, it was like, hey, these
Oh,
guys got
seniority.
seniority, you got to go.
Yeah, that always sucks. But I
But
mean, you look at it from their point of view, the people that's been there a long time. You know what I mean? That's the only fair way to go in that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I
Yeah.
probably would have had my freaking tires gashed if I'd have not been laid off there and someone else had been.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
tires ain't cheap.
Come at the strike. See, wish I was
Yeah,
16. Me too, Russell. I wish I was 16 too, brother. That was 34 years ago. I was 16. Damn, God, I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 years old, Dan. Oh my God.
hey, 50, that's not too bad, man. 50's the new 30, right?
Well,
Or
I
is
don't think
it
I
eight?
come off like a 50
Or is
years
it?
old either, do I?
Not really. I mean,
I don't come off like a 50
you've
year
got
old man.
that young sort of young at heart energy there.
Good. When I start
It's
acting
like
50, it's time to put me to bed.
it's like it's past your bedtime, Grandpa. Go to bed now. Hush, hush.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
no, it's funny.
I don't feel 50, man.
I feel fucking 50 sometimes, and
No, yeah,
it's
that's
not
normal.
fun.
Right.
It could just be
How
that
old are you?
I am 28.
Wow, 28's when I started my wrestling career. I wrestled for 12 years.
Yeah, I heard in the stream last night you were saying something about that, or it might have been the one before that, but I heard you saying something about being
Yeah,
in wrestling.
I did it for 12 years, man. I got over over 500 matches under my belt.
Oof.
Quit when I was 40. I did the independent scene. I went from this scene to this scene. It was only the independent shit. So I got to come across a lot of the old legends on their way down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes seeing that too probably makes you reevaluate your direction there. I mean, I could
Yeah.
only imagine. I never really wrestled all that much, like backyard matches,
People don't
but
know. You know? People don't know, man. You know what I hate worse is when you get those people and they piss me off, man. With oh, that's just fake ass shit. It's like, man, yeah, it's contrived, but don't using that word fake is insulting to a wrestler. You know, because that shit tears your
yeah,
body the fuck up, man.
it
It's like
it's a
people would be liking it
it's a heavy
nonsense, and
art form is probably a better way to say that.
yeah,
Like
yeah, it's
like
contrived, but
staged, that's kind of the weird stretch between it, but
but but fake, that's just insulting. That's just rude. Because it's not fake. Hitting that goddamn thing. Because I'm telling you, man, you got a steel frame, you got pieces of wood, and you got this much padding. When you hit that motherfucker, it hurts, man. Especially these cheap
oh
ass
yeah.
independent rings. You know what I mean? Which are pieced together anyway. I got to do a match with Jake the Snake Roberts, and I got to do a tag team match against the Bushwhacker. And I also met a ton of motherfuckers like Greg Dara Valentine, Captain Lou Albano right before he died, George Animal Steel, Brutus Beefcake. Brutus Beefcake was a dick. He didn't want to dress with the wrestlers. He insisted on getting his own little room. You know what I mean? Like he was just better than us. Like, well, if you're so much better than us, then what the fuck are you doing here? We've always been here. You just came down. So shut the fuck up. You're on your way down, so I don't see why you think your shit don't stink, motherfucker. I hate that
Murder
shit.
is
But
my
George Animal
beat.
Steel was cool. Jake, man, I've told the story about Jake Snake. This is back. This is back around 2000. I wrestled in April of 2001. This is back when he had his serious drug and alcohol problem going. So I watched him smoke a big bunch of crack and drink a fifth of peppermint, 100 proof peppermint schnapps before a match. And he went out there and
Gee.
performed great. But yeah, that's what he insisted on from the promoter. He had to get him some crack. I watched a drug dealer come in and sell my promoter crack. He took it to Jake and handed him a fifth of peppermint schnapps. Jake put all that shit away, and we did a match. We did a four-way dance. So
Oof.
I was a little worried when I seen him doing that, but once he got in the ring and I seen what he was doing in the ring, it cleared it all up, man. He was professional. Yeah, my promoter put out an ad in the paper looking for because Jake don't have snakes anymore. Put out an ad for an albino python that he was going to rent for the night for that couple hours, so Jake could have a snake bring to the ring. And that was a pretty ass snake. It was a nice albino python.
Huh.
But yeah, I tell a story sometimes. My wrestling name was Ruin.
Hell yeah.
I'm not bad at coming up
Saw
with names. My name's
someone
Ruin.
had someone in the chat was asking if you had any it was Russell asking if you have any videos from your wrestling days.
I don't have any videos. I have pics. I didn't get any videos. There's a lot of old people out there that I've thought about contacting them and seeing if I can get some video of that so I could show it on here. But I'd have to go through the whole Facebook thing and the whole process of finding these motherfuckers. But I probably could do that. I just haven't done it yet. But one of these days I will. But you can always go back in the internet if you search hard enough because that particular promotion is defunct now. But you can go back if you search hard enough, you can find it. I worked for the EWF in Marion, Indiana. Search that up and search up Run, Gutter, and the Gutter Punks. And if you search hard enough, you can find some shit on them.
Hell yeah.
I'm in that promotion's Hall of Fame as my But it wasn't nothing big and everything. It was just independent shows, but it was pretty cool. Once I hit 40,
Oh
I
yeah, I
just
mean,
decided.
so long as you were having fun doing it, that's really all that counts, man.
Yeah, because what I wanted to do, what I was throughout a teenager in my younger 20s, was I was a singer for a heavy metal band. That's what I really wanted. But I went and had kids, and in order to actually make it in music, I would have had to move to another city, which means I would have had to leave my kids. And I grew up without a dad, and I didn't want them to do the same thing, so I gave up my music to be a dad.
Hell yeah, man.
That was more important than my. But that was my love, and that was my first love. Still is. It still hurts to think about it sometimes, because that's what I really wanted. That was my passion. I love wrestling. That was a passion. That was a passion. It wasn't the passion. Passion was music.
Right.
It's still there too. I got music. I got wrestling. I got horror films. Films in general. I just love films in general and all kinds of films.
Yeah.
There's a lot I want to do on here, man. I actually want to do on Golden Pond. I want to do fucking Forrest Gump. I want to do Almost Famous. I love that film. So I just, horror is my main thing. I'm just afraid to go and do some of those films now because I'm afraid that would, you know what I mean? I don't want people to look at me doing Almost Famous or fucking On Golden Pond to go, damn, Doris lost it, and they start coming to, because these are horror
Yeah.
fans. A lot of them like everything, but I'm just kind of afraid of how that would come off. All of a sudden, I start doing those movies. They're gonna think I've gone soft, But I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that idea there.
Yeah.
I love the posters in this
what makes
kid's
you happy,
room, though, here.
You have to do what makes you happy, though. And if it makes you happy to do all kinds of films,
fucking A,
see.
man.
What was my gimmick, Russell? I was basically, if you took one of the Road Warriors and Stone Cold Steve Austin and put them together, that was my head was shaved bald, and I wore all black and black gloves that you guys used to see me wear all the time. That was my gimmick. Ruin. RUIN, yeah. This is the thing I come up with when I was playing a wrestling game. I named one of my wrestlers, one of the first wrestling games where you could create a wrestler. I named it Ruin. And I was thinking of a name. I said, that would be badass. So I went with that. There's always a reason for it. Just like my name on here is Agoraphobe, it's because I'm an agoraphobic. I've had agoraphobia for years. I talked about there was one particular time where I wasn't able to even leave my house for 2 years straight. I had everything bought. I've somewhat gotten over that, but I'm still badly agoraphobic. I have a social phobia. But this way I'm able to reach out to people because we're not in the same room. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can see me stammering a bit. That's that social phobia. I definitely had to overcome it.
That's something. That's kind of one of those things that I find myself when I'm editing. That is usually the main thing that I do try to edit around is an occasional stuttering or stammering here and there. Like it's one of those things I don't really notice until I find myself in the editing when I'm listening back over what I had said like 10 minutes ago. Yeah. It's like, fuck, dude, spit that out. And I don't realize that I do it half the time.
Are you more comfortable uploading or live streaming? Like, are you comfortable live streaming? Because I found a lot of people were more comfortable with uploading than they are being live. I was like that, but I've done so much live now that live is where I'm at home now.
Yeah, either or for me, honestly. Like, I haven't really done a whole lot of live lately. I know a couple years ago, before I took a bit of a hiatus and rebranded the channel, I would go live pretty frequently. But recently, I haven't done a whole lot of live. I've just been trying to rebuild the channel and the sort of the reliable reputation of the channel to sort of get people coming back to realize it's like, hey, this guy's still back. He's not gone away. I'm not going away again anytime soon, guys. Just, just want to let the people know that.
I was watching one of your videos, and what connected me to you and made me understand you and want to talk to you more was on one of your uploads. You talked about how you got discouraged because there wasn't a lot of people subscribing, and it just made you kind of lean away from it for a while. And I totally got that, man. I totally understood that.
Yeah.
Remember, I left a comment on that video saying,
Yeah,
"Man, I totally
I do
understand.
remember
Don't
that
forget,
one.
passion for the film is what's important, man. The subscribers will come. It's just some of us don't build as fast as others, you know."
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that does suck about it, because you, like, when you do start out, sometimes there might be another channel that you see that kind of makes you think, hey, that's kind of what I would like to do. And you
see it growing,
it kind of sets your expectations a little too high, because you're seeing, oh, this guy's got like 350K or 3,000 or however many, you know. And it's like, yeah, you got to realize, hey, they probably started at this same level. They probably weren't an overnight sensation. But hey, thank you, Zodiac. Really appreciate that.
I'm like
Zodiacs?
I'm like that with Night Watch Zone. Night's a good friend of mine, and we've done a lot of things together. And he at one point where he went from 6,000 a few months ago. In 1 week, he went from 5,000 or 6,000 to like 20,000 in one fucking week.
Yeah, I remember.
And, you know, and I was so envious. I was like, damn it, what's wrong with my shit, you know?
Yeah, like I've been wanting to work with Knight, and you know, when I kind of started to take the hiatus, I wasn't really doing a whole lot with the talking to anybody, with the exception of like one of my YouTube cohorts, you know. But for the most part, I just kind of cut everybody off, and it was like, I'm just kind of gone for a while, guys. And you know, when I was checking back on the social medias, I saw that I had an old tweet messenger, a message on Twitter from Nate asking if I was free, and I'm guessing he probably wanted to collab about a year and a half ago. And it's like, wow, you fucking missed out on a golden opportunity there, dude. So at night, if you're watching this, man, I'm available. I just don't know how to approach you in the message there.
Just message you and talk to him, man. He will definitely collab with you, man. He's fun to collab with. I'm editing a like an hour and a half, 2 hour conversation that he and I had on Night of the Living Dead that I'm editing, that I'm getting ready to put out. It's just a full out conversation about it. So
fucking that'll be man.
Soon. He and I have worked together probably about 20 times. You know, still a good friend of mine. I just sent him a Arrow Window edition of Dawn of the Dead. It's like 13 years out of print. You know, just because of friendship.
Oh shit!
I did the same thing with House by the Cemetery with Ninja.
Hell yeah!
Juno was on you. I sent Juno a couple of birthday presents, and I haven't heard nothing from him since then. So he hasn't gone to, you know, he said it with the tracking, it was supposed to be in Monday. And I heard nothing from him since. So I don't know if he got the package, birthday package or not. Sean, if you're listening, where's Juno, man? I at least want to know if you liked his birthday present. I might have to. Don't I can get a hold of him really, because he doesn't do social media much. The only way I can really get a hold of him is the email. I hate that, man. Sean's the same way. You got a channel, I feel like you got to at least do an Instagram or a Twitter, one or the other. You know what I mean? It helps your channel. It helps you communicate.
Yeah, like I was doing the Instagram for a while, but I don't remember how to log into my Instagram. Like I tried to log in when I uploaded it on my new phone, and it's like, we don't know this entry. So it's like, fuck it. Just throw it to the wayside. So if anybody's been trying to contact me on Instagram, and I'm not ignoring you, I just don't remember how to get onto my Instagram.
That's why I've never updated my phone. That's why I'm still on the same phone I've been on the whole 2 years, over 2 years now that I've had a channel. It's the same phone, because I know if I switch, I don't know any of the passwords or anything to get into any of my shit. It's all programmed into my phone. I just hit a button and there it is. So I totally understand what you're saying.
Totally. Like I've been trying to, like, I do put my social medias in the description under my videos, so I have it to where it auto uploads that. Like it's in the advanced features or something, advanced settings. But I took off the Instagram, and Facebook group that I don't remember. Like, there was a Facebook group that I was involved with, and that all fell apart. So just kind of took that one off the little bio list there. But I have my personal Facebook page, not my personal one, but the one for the channel, which I need to go back and put comments on, because that's under the old channel name.
I have Facebook. I just don't ever fuck with it, man. It's I haven't done shit on that thing, man. It's Gortho, and it's the ghost bot from Halloween. Is the picture for it? I just haven't done shit on it in a long time. Like, I don't put the Twitter most of the time, in case you hadn't noticed. It's mostly Instagram, and I don't even put that. Now I just do everything straight from my channel and my community page.
Yeah, the community page, I think they let smaller channels like us recently start using that, and that's a lot of fun to be able to have that to our advantage. It almost it doesn't completely even the playing field, but it gives us a little bit of a leg up.
As you grow, they open up more shit for you to do, Now you can do polls and shit like that, which is cool. I was so glad to finally get that shit, man. They gave me that before my 300 subs, right before.
Yeah, I know. Like, I was reading something in their updated terms and conditions or whatever. One of those techno rule things. Part of the like, they said something about they're trying to make it easier for smaller channels to grow. So that's it's nice that the powers that be and control the almighty algorithm are giving us a bit of a chance to breathe. I don't remember when these updates were completely active, like what month and year, but
it was over the winter sometime.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of the winter or so, late fall maybe. Yeah, something like that. Because all of a sudden it was on there, and I could do polls, and I could, you know what I mean, all kinds of shit. I was like, hell yeah, because that helps a lot, man. Man saying, she said, Mr. Filthy, you should contact Knight. He's such an awesome person. Absolutely, man. Just message him. Cool guy, man. Really nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, after we're done on here, I'll try and get that straightened out.
Let's see. I'm trying to get him to talk to Night Watch. Yeah, he's going to, man.
After the stream. Like that's the cool thing about Twitter too, and like the social medias. You don't have to worry about it being too late when you shoot a message to somebody. It's like, hey, I'm about to go to bed. It's like 4 a.m. here. Probably you're just waking up having your coffee over there. But it's a magical thing. This internet connection.
We got a good little circle here, man. I'm glad to welcome you into it, man, because
thank you.
This is a nice group of people, man, and I just wanted to bring you in and make you a part of it. So everybody that hasn't subbed to built it in the Department of Fear, definitely go over and do that. He's a guy a lot like me.
It's like I like what I like. Sometimes I'm stubborn with topics, but usually pretty straight up. Like I'll at least give trigger warnings or whatever. It's like, you guys might not like this opinion, but this is what I'm saying here. And I clown on myself too. Like I've got I wouldn't say I'm the funniest guy, but when I do put humor in my videos, it's like real witty. Like, I like to think I'm the Dennis Miller of the horror YouTube community. Just
that real dry humor. Yeah,
marginally less funny though, but
man,
in that sort of stream there.
That's a name I hadn't heard in a while, Dennis Miller. Yeah, he does something else now, doesn't he? He hosts some kind of a show now. He used to be a comedian.
I think all of them do a little bit of hosting, but they still like most stand-up comedians, they don't want to do stand-up anymore.
Well, there's no platform for like people are too sensitive now. You know, some people are just dying to get offended and to be offended, and it's hard to do because stand-up is going to offend somebody. It's just the way it is, and people just can't handle it anymore.
Like if you want to see good stand-up anymore, that is going to sort of twist your tits and ruffle your feathers, you got to go to a local comedy club, like a small little joint.
Yeah,
that's what I've been told anyway. Like I've never been to a comedy club, which is it's one of those things I want to do. I'm surprised I haven't yet.
Can you imagine George Carlin coming out now? There's no fucking way. He was way too edgy for today. He would be banned now.
I was like, when he went, like, it's crazy to think when he left us, people could still take humor like he would let out.
Right.
Like, it's only been in recent years, really, that it feels like it's gotten to this weird fucking point.
Book says, it's my biggest problem on YouTube. Sometimes I am brutally sarcastic, and a lot of times it gets me in trouble. Like, you're bound to, man. If you're yourself on here, you're going to get in trouble. Try to refrain from doing that a little bit, but it's just like The Godfather. Just when you think you're out, it pulls you back in. Yeah, that's the thing. When you start YouTube, man, it's like an addiction. Have you noticed that shit?
Mm.
It's like you try to leave and you can't, and you just have to go back and do something. You know what I mean? It's totally addictive. Getting to the let's see, the timestamp here. Timestamp at almost 57 minutes. And we got a girl here that's in big fucking trouble. Oh, there he is standing up there. This guy's just like a brute, isn't he? He just comes off like a fucking brute. Like you believe the shit he does, because you know what I mean? He's kind of built, he's kind of thick.
I like the things I like about the killers and slashers, aside from like their image, it's the little nuances to the stuntman or actor's performance. Like they move, like certain hand gestures, or so, like if there's a certain walking pattern, like if they take steps a certain way. Right. Those little things, I really dig the effort that those guys put into that.
Even
and
on other
like when you saw him, like when you saw him on the top of the observatory there, like you just see the way he kind of walks back and forth, kind of shakes his arm a little bit. It's like that guy looks like, like I think we barely see his face, get like a couple glimpses, but
yeah,
nothing too clear.
It doesn't change though, man. He looks like he has no emotion whatsoever about it. You know, what you see of his face is just
for real
stone look, man. It's just, you know what I mean? He's just fucking just crazy. And he just, like here in this gym part, you see his face pretty good here, I do believe. And this is what his expression never fucking changes.
I would imagine if you had this on VHS, though, you probably wouldn't be able to make its face out too good, though.
That's the biggest problem with Humongous. I'll go ahead and warn you about that now. A lot of it is really dark, especially the VHS copy that's ripped onto YouTube. I have a really good 2K transfer of it on that Scorpion, so I'm able to see it better. The Humongous is a dark film, man. It's hard to make out shit going on. That's people's biggest bitch about it. You just can't see shit. And that sucks. But I'm so nostalgic about that film. That's just one I praised that film 2 years on here now. I finally got people to start watching it. I'm always referring to something. I like to refer ones that people haven't seen much or have never heard of. That's fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's one of those ones like I said earlier when it was brought up. Like I've heard of it, never seen it. It was something about that poster art though that had me a little creeped out about it. Like I could tell that there was something about it. It's like this is definitely a film.
Yeah,
I really like the whole idea. I like the whole idea of setting up the timer here. I can't remember. Does the little game clock at the top come into play here?
I don't remember.
Like, cause I know that's sort of graduation day.
Uh-huh. That's got a young ass fucking Linnea Quigley before she got her boob job. She got little old boobs in that one, man.
Mm-hmm.
She was a naturelle in that. She's also in Savage Streets. She plays Linda Blair's little sister.
Oh, okay.
See, his face does not change. He just snatched him by the throat and just shoved him.
Yeah, Wild Man's a big boy too. Like a guy like me would not be able to throw a Wild Man around. I'd fucking be the one getting my ass handled there.
And he's having no problem with this motherfucker. He's just beating the shit out of him. Oh, damn it, Dave. Look at paintbrushes him. Smack, smack.
Yeah, you can tell the dude is a stuntman just by the way he's handling the dude here.
Yeah. He knows how to make shit look good without actually hurting you. That's the trick to wrestling. Wrestlers are basically actors / stuntmen. You know
who he really reminds me of here, though? The killer here reminds me of like a mix of Michael Myers and Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, yes.
Like, part of it's the haircut, but the other half of it's that I don't give a fuck. I'm just here to kill.
Yeah. That is such a good film, man.
Oh, yeah.
Fargo, too. Have you ever seen Fargo?
I have not seen Fargo.
Huh?
People telling me that recently that I need to check out.
You're cutting out real bad. What was it you said about Fargo?
I've had a lot of people tell me that I need to check that one out.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Fargo's fantastic.
Oh, that's definitely some advice I'm going to be heeding here soon.
It's fucking kick ass, yeah. You see, yeah, I still need to pick out my recommendations. I haven't done that yet. Here, I got one right now. Okay. I usually do a couple. I know if you've never seen me do that before. Damn, what should I do? Oh shit. I don't know what the next one's gonna be. I'll figure one out, but fuck it.
Guessing that's a nice little quote from Fargo there. Looks like you took quite the humdinger there, pal.
Let me see. Yeah. Let me see. Love Savage Streets of Linda Blair and Red Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just about to say I think I own Red Heat, and then I read the last part of that, not the Arnold one.
Right.
It's like I got that. Oh wait, never mind.
Here's another one. Here, I got my 2 recommendations down. They're 2 completely different recommendations for everybody. This guy here, he kills me. It kind of reminds me. This guy you see right here that's talking to this chick. I can't remember what his name is in here, but he kind of puts you in mind of a guy. Since you haven't seen Pieces, you wouldn't know what I mean yet. He kind of reminds me of that guy in Pieces.
Okay. If I remember correctly, the character's name is Radish.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Dole Rice, yeah.
But yeah,
there's a blooper in here, man. I was reading about it. I guess when the cop comes in, on the side of his car it says Cherokee County, but when you get up close to him on his patch, it says Cleveland County.
I always love those little Those geographical bloopers there.
This was Examen, or Examen is what it was called in Germany.
Huh.
I'm not sure what the hell that means, but hey, it's Examen. It's Examen. Examen.
Yeah,
Not
it's
sure if that gives
probably just the way they say, like, it's probably just examination in German.
right.
That would be my
Yeah.
guess on that.
Exam, yeah.
It's like, I can't really speak German, but I can understand it a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is,
I can't.
it's like, it's weird. Like, I can't speak a lot of languages outside of English. I understand them enough to be like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. But if reading it, that's a whole other thing.
Right. I love German releases, German media books and things like that. And I'd love to be able to read what the hell they say, man, but I can't read a fucking word. But they're nice release.
Yeah, it's like, it looks easy. Like, I took like about a quarter of a semester of German freshman year, but not a whole lot of that is really stuck. So it's like, find myself not really able to remember a whole lot of that.
Yeah. Do you have a big collection of physical media, or did you just start, or just kind of get just there?
Shit, over the last few years, like over the last 5 years, I've accumulated with like good 60, 70, maybe 100 films, whatever. You know, it's a normal sized collection. But last I checked, I have 1,048 titles. But there are a few films where I have multiple copies of that, and it's not just limited to horror. It's just all kinds of different movies here.
The ones I love,
3 copies.
Several copies.
It's like 3 copies of the original Star Wars trilogy, you know, like got the unedited VHS box set, the special editions.
I love the original Star Wars thing. I actually like the prequels too. I like the 3 prequels. I do not like the 3 sequels. I do not like 7, 8, and 9. 7's okay, 8 and 9 are garbage.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything after The Last Jedi, but because I grew up with the Star Wars prequels, I've got an unabashed love for those.
Yes.
It's like I tried to jump on the hate wagon for those, but it's like, oh, am I kidding? I fucking loved these when I was a kid, and I still enjoy them now.
Especially when you see the sequels. Especially when you see 7, 8, and 9, you realize how good those prequels are.
Yep.
Because those are just garbage, man. I fucking hate those. They completely destroyed the Luke Skywalker character. He would never have just tossed that saber. That was fucking ridiculous. When he did that, I knew that it was going to be shit. When, you know, at the very end of part 7, remember she gets there, she hands him the lightsaber, and then it ends. And then at the beginning of Last Jedi, she hands it to him, and he just tosses it. I was like, what? From then on, I was like, fuck you. That's not the Luke Skywalker I remember. And Mark Hamill hated it. He hated it. Mark Hamill hates what they did.
He didn't look like he was having a lot of fun in those at all.
He's bitched about it ever since. He wishes he hadn't done it.
He should have tried to talk John Carpenter out. Yeah. I'm still pretty salty that I know he's doing a lot of music right now, and I think he's like helping write video game storylines and stuff for people.
He's coming out with a new show on Netflix called Halloween Origins.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I did see somebody had I don't know whose video it was, but I saw there was like a thumbnail about that.
Yes. August 18th. Let me see. Let me type it up here. Halloween.
Oh, that's a big fucking development there.
Yes. Halloween. Yeah. It's the thumbnail or whatever. It's got a picture of him as a little kid. So I wonder what the hell they're thinking about doing. I hope they don't.
So
Too
is he
much
signed on as
into
a writer or just like an executive producer?
I'm not sure. It just says John Carpenter and Sean Cunningham's Halloween Origins. I hope there's not too much.
That's interesting there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. Definitely, got to, man. Being a Halloween fan I am, I gotta at least check it out. At least they're not grinding him into hamburger meat like Halloween ends. Fucking stupid shit.
Right.
I hate that fucking movie.
And
Dude. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, see, I'm not gonna really complain about that one too much. I was for a while saying, hey, I want to see them do something different with it. I got something different with it, so I'm happy enough about that. And I'm one of those Halloween nut swinger types. It's like they can't do no wrong, but there are times where they are pretty fucking wrong. Like Resurrection.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that one. Like there'll be times where I'm talking with my lady and somehow I'll be talking about Halloween Resurrection or something will come up where, trying to pick a movie, whatever. And I just coming across that on the shelf, I get freaking all kinds of bitter and angry about it. She's like, why don't you just throw it away? It's like, well, if I threw it away, then I would have to buy it again. And I don't want to have to buy it again.
Right.
It has the malignant tumor that's just there on my shelf.
That's the collector's. There's collector's disease, man. And it takes different forms. That's one of them. You gotta have it in the collection. You know what I mean? It's just. I'm such a Halloween purist, man. That's why I don't like those sequels and all that stuff. I'm a purist on the original Halloween. And Halloween 2 from 1988 has that vibe too, up to a certain point. It feels like it, especially when you watch them back to back. When you watch them back to back, I love Halloween 2 and Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3 start at the end of the last one. I love sequels to do that. It makes it feel like one film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Up to the brother sister thing, I loved it. Brother sister thing, I run. That gives Michael too much of a backstory.
And I think too, like my soft spot for the David Gordon Green era of Halloween films, that could be also because I didn't really have that opportunity to be an adult and see these films come out. So it's like Halloween of my time, it's so there's always something there where if you were at that certain point when these are coming out and you didn't get that with the previous films, there's something about it that feels like it's uniquely yours, like for your generation and whatnot.
Right.
So it's definitely, I don't know. I've got just a weird relationship with Halloween. I mean, as you can see, there's the Halloween 3 mask and the Halloween 1 mask right here. So
cool mask. I love the Halloween 3 shit. Hell yeah. Halloween 3 is a good film.
What's fun, as much of a Michael Nutswinger as I am, I really would have liked to see them take the anthology direction with the Halloween films. If you could retroactively take like The Fog and make that Halloween too. Oh,
Fog is so good, man.
Yeah, that one,
like the greatest fucking soundtrack.
That's a sweet fucking movie right there. Like that's one that I've had a hard time getting my lady to watch. Like she doesn't like that one. She's like, it's too slow. It's too slow. It's like, come on, just give it another try. Just give it another try. It's like, it's a little bit slower, but it's like she's been sort of reevaluating her taste in films though a little bit. Like she's trying to get onto stuff that she normally wouldn't have before.
That's cool.
It's like, your taste sometimes changes, so I'm trying to get her to get on with the Carpenter films.
Ooh. Yes, we got
there we go.
We have Booby.
Fucking
Everyone knows
beautiful.
how much I love naked women. I always make a total ass out of myself over it. It drives Sean crazy when we do the show because I'll be sitting there all excited. But they know I'm a they know I'm a perv. I'll admit it. I'm a harmless perv. At least I'm not a creepy perv. That's the difference.
Fucking A.
Yeah, you get yeah the creepy pervs you got to worry about, but the guys that just like to see naked women, you gotta love
It's like, I mean, I don't know if all women are like this, but even a lot of the women that I know, they admire and appreciate naked women.
that. Oh
Everybody
yeah, that's
loves
what's
naked women.
I love that. If I was a woman, I would be lesbian. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to fuck myself if I was a chick, honestly. Like if there was a version of me that was a chick, I don't know if that chick would be able to fuck me as a dude,
Right.
if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I just know that if I was a woman, I would like women. But I'm also coming at it from a very raging heterosexual point of view too. So it may be different if I actually was a woman, you know. But I'm saying from the way
Yeah.
I'm coming from right now, if I was a woman, I would be lesbian.
Yeah.
But I'm bi.
It's like I'll give it that same argument that comes up when we watch horror movies where we criticize people's decision making. It's like, well, you don't really know until you're in that situation. Like, how do you know you would make the smart choice?
Right.
Have you been in this?
Carrie Carrie Creed Cinema is in the chat now. She says I walk in and I hear you saying if you're a woman you'd be a lesbian, and she that's the first thing she heard. She's like, what the hell are they even talking about?
See, I
No,
always love that when people come in at that always that goofiest ass moment there.
and then May said Gora's a lesbian with a bunch of lesbians. Yeah, yeah. I like women so much. I know I'd be a lesbian. That's what I was saying here. I would definitely be. I am such a you know such a woman lover that I just can't see myself like yeah. But like I said, that's coming from a very heterosexual male point of view. So I really can't. I bet it was funny coming in here and hearing me say the first thing I said was I would be a lesbian. That's what happens when you miss most of it, Terry. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You think I'm crazy? You got to hear all my shit before it makes sense.
Crazy's good though. Crazy
Oh,
is good.
came out of the closet last circle. Yeah, well, see, the difference is, though, June Buggins, I'm not a woman. I'm still a man. So that makes me heterosexual. See, that's the difference.
Like,
So I come out of the
it's
closet.
like a spiritual lesbianism.
Yes, I'm just knowing the way I feel. Yeah, that's what it would be. So I no, I didn't come out of the closet. If I came out of the closet, I'd be sitting here going, "Hey, I like men." But you're not going to see me come out of the closet, my friend, because I'm way too much of a poontang thing. There's no way I could swing the other way. Poon is what's up.
I wasn't there, Austin, but honestly, I don't think that a lot of slashers were really hits when they came out, just because they were
It's
sort of
weird,
cheap
man.
underground films. Like,
And so many were coming out, man. Like tons were coming out at once. Like between 1980 and 84, 85. Holy shit, man. You couldn't
oh
keep up with it.
yeah,
Like in 1981
yeah,
alone, I think like fucking 20 slashers or something came out. 81, 82.
yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, I know. That was definitely the golden age, like right there between 81 and 84. Like, it was like if there was a
Right.
holiday, there was a slasher about it. Like anything you could think of to incorporate a guy with a knife or some other kind of bladed weapon, they they had a slasher film for it. That
Oh
that
yeah.
was just it was a crazy time, and that they ended up burning out in like '84, and that's why when you get to the late '80s, they start to make them pretty damn humorous
Yeah.
and
The 80s was
comical.
a good decade, man. The 80s was a great decade. But you seen the same thing happen with music in the 80s, with heavy metal. Heavy metal was great at one point, but then Jesus, man, everybody come out like Poison hit big. Everybody looked like it sounded like Poison. Motley Crue came out in the early '80s. Everybody wanted to be Motley Crue. So finally, that's why the Seattle sound was able to stomp on, is because by the time it had gotten so watered down that every band was this pop ass metal, and people were just like, there's tons of them. They did the same thing with the slashers. So the '80s was a decade of excess. Everything was in excess. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Anytime you do that, you're gonna have clunkers. Poser. So yeah, to the point where slashers, nobody wanted to see that shit for because there was so many of them. Same thing with heavy metal. That's why finally when Scream did that little bit of different shit in the mid '90s, they went at it a little differently, and I brought it back. That's one thing I always give Scream credit for, is bringing back the slasher genre, giving it a little
Oh,
something different.
it's like if you love it or hate it, you can't ignore what it did. Because
Right.
I've noticed that there like certain like some of the older horror fans I noticed they're real hit or miss when it comes to like younger people like still the ones that are more
Yeah.
Skip that ghost shit. Looked like we were blurring out there for a second. Things that's about horror to those, just that sort of the way the generation gap kind of works there. We all have that little era that we're interested in, but there's always that sort of common point. And it usually seems to be the 80s where we all agree, yes, that was good.
Yeah.
Good point. Some people like that 70s stuff. Other people are like, nah, too grimy, too gritty, don't care for it.
Right. Like, horror in general. See, I seen a lot of these movies at the theater and when they first came out. Like you see Halloween 3 I seen at the theater, and people hated that movie for years because it wasn't Michael Myers. They hated The Thing to begin with. They disliked the Exorcist 3, and all these are so loved now. It just kills me. April Fool's Day, they hated that because of the way the ending is. But now they're so revered. You know what I mean? I do love that about
Yeah.
now, is everybody's giving these another look, and now like Exorcist 3 was just damned, and that's a kick-ass movie.
Yeah, see, like, I've only heard good things about Exorcist 3, and, like, I've enjoyed that movie myself. So I find it absolutely crazy that people actually hated that.
Me and my friend were the only two in the theater when I went to see it.
Wow.
And I didn't appreciate it as much then. I liked it, but as I watched it when I got a little older, because it came out in 1990, so I was 17. At 17, you think of a lot different brain than you do in your 30s, 40s, even 20s and late 20s. Completely different, man. I'm the same guy, but I'm different. You know what I mean? You appreciate different things. You look at things differently as you go. And like you said earlier, your taste changes. You're tasting food.
Yep.
You're tasting everything. You just change, man. So I love how these are appreciated now. I'm really glad about that.
Oh, yeah.
Look up for what they are. They're not the Godfather. They're not fucking. You know what I mean? They're not fucking Citizen Kane. But for what they are, they're enjoyed. They're fun.
Oh, yeah.
They don't expect them to be fucking, like iconic level, like fucking Jaws or Godfather or Touch of Evil. They look at them what they should be. Because I mean, let's face it. There ain't nobody in here gonna win an Oscar, but it's not supposed to.
Exactly. That's one of the hard things I find too about like rating films. Like if you're doing like a 1 through 5 star rating or whatever, like if I when I rate certain films, I don't rate them as complete cinema. Like if I'm rating a horror film and say I take some cheap 80s slasher and give that a 4-star rating, I'm not giving it a 4-star rating as a film. I'm
Right.
giving it a 4-star rating as a slasher film.
Right.
Like I'm
Right. Exactly.
and because if you rated them all like as cinema, a lot of these slasher films we would be giving that's about a 1-star film. But I highly suggest you check it out.
Right. Yeah. You can't put it against Forrest Gump or something like that because it's gonna fucking fail. It's gonna look bad if you do. But if
Oh
you put it in
yeah,
its proper place, you put it in its proper place. Like hell yeah. You don't ever put them up against But if you put them in the place they belong, it's good shit. And I'm glad people are open minded enough now to understand that. Because back when they came out, they wasn't. It was just garbage. A film like this was just shit to be. But in a
yeah,
way, the fans are smarter and better now than they were. Back in my day. It's been a pleasure watching these movies come back and be respected and loved now. Because back when I was
and
younger, they laughed at. That's what I got. They were laughed at, made fun of, just like heavy metal was in the '90s. How everybody made fun of it. Same thing with slasher movies. Oh shit, that's a hell of a pull too, man. I don't care how tough you are. He just got broken, like he'd have been folded.
oh yeah. And I'm gonna say right now, I know earlier I made some comment about, and we don't really see his face a whole lot in here. I
But
forgot just how much we actually do see his face clearly in this film.
yeah, and it never
Like we get
changes,
a
man.
lot, like we get a lot of good shots of him, and yeah, it's just that stone fucking face there.
It kind of reminds me of Sorority House Massacre. That killer. He's the same way. You've ever seen Sorority House Massacre? That's a real good one too.
That one I might have seen that one. I don't think I have though. Fuck, I might have watched it, but I can't remember if I
Yeah.
because there's a lot of films that I've watched, but I don't remember having watched them. So that's on one of those maybes. I'd have to at least revisit it or visit it to determine whether or not I've actually seen it or not.
Right. Um, let's see. Any more here to get here? Ooh, there's one. I've got a whole side of the paper with a list here of films I'm going to recommend to you, man.
Hell yeah.
Ones that I like that I think are good or just good for what they are. I mean, I know you probably don't have the exact same taste as me, but I feel like I'm giving you recommendations that you'll be able to respect and like. They're old, they're most of them are like in the '80s and shit, around this time or a little before or a little left. Yeah, this was created to be a one and done, man. They never had any idea to make any kind of sequels to this. This was made to be just what it is.
Oh yeah.
I'm
And
glad they.
I do
Well,
like
I'm
that
super glad they
one
did.
and done.
So many of them should have been.
It's funny with Halloween. That's one of those movies that just has to be talked about anytime you talk about horror films. I think
Right.
like, and I already said how my feelings with that whole series. It's like I love it, but it's one of the weirdest relationships in my whole life.
Right.
I could appreciate the first film as a one and done. I could appreciate it as the start of like a duology. I could appreciate it as the start of a choose your own adventure franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And every one of those different ways that you look at it, it doesn't change the fact that it's a great film. But it's like I like the series, but I would have been curious to see how it would have held up if it had just stopped there. Like if there had not been a Halloween 2, hell, if there hadn't been a desire for an anthology series. Like if it was just Halloween, then Carpenter goes on to do the Someone's Watching Me, Elvis, and then The Fog. The middle two there being TV films that a lot of people probably don't know off the top of their head. But felt obligated to mention that since that's kind of the thing I'm doing right now.
Jamie says, I don't know why, but I'm feeling weird vibes. Why would you feel weird vibes, Jamie? You never have to feel that way on my stream. No one here ever needs to feel weird or not included or anything on my stream. We are a circle of friends here. We're a circle of people that have passion for these films and passion and respect for each other. So everybody should feel at home with me on my stream. Just saying.
Yeah,
and I want you to feel that way. I don't want you to feel weird. I want you to feel at home here because you're always welcome.
I see something in the comments here about the full moon possibly having to do with it. This is just a weirdo. Full moon is probably having an effect on the sanity.
Yeah, well, I mean, my way of thinking would have been it.
It could be something with the polarity.
Okay. Yeah, I just caught that, man. I didn't see that to begin with. When I went back, it's like Sean says, I'm moving in with Keith. Yeah, man. And when I say this shit, I totally mean all this shit, guys. If you guys can't tell that, trust me, that's just how I am. I mean what I say what I mean. It's always going to be that way with me. Damn guaranteed. You're not going to get a more real motherfucker. So real that people don't even understand where I'm coming from. You know? Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like, okay, what should I say? It's just because I'm just being 100%. Full moon. Yeah. Why? Yeah. I hope they had to do with the moon because I don't want you feeling uncomfortable here. That would suck. I feel like I was doing something wrong. Why do you hate Sean, man? What? Real, and that's my favorite thing about it. But hell yeah, appreciate that, man. Hell yeah. I can't help it. It's a curse. I have to be. And I hope that's more endearing than it is. You know, I don't want to turn people away. I hope that's more of an endearing thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what you're. Yeah, man. Final exam. What do you think about the idea I had about after doing my watch? He was taking like 30 to 60 minutes to bring somebody on or whatever, or just sit and discuss what we just seen. I think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid idea, honestly. Definitely would make for because you'd have an opinion that hasn't really been able to voice itself throughout the whole proceedings up to that point. So you could have that voice come in, and that sort of can change the dynamic there, or sort of raise a question. But is it as good as you guys think it is? Like, come in as like it.
Yeah, that's what.
There's a whole lot of different ways that could go, and it could be really interesting.
Yeah, we could discuss our feelings about it, and then we bring somebody else on. Maybe bring somebody else on for a few minutes, and then they go and somebody else comes. And each person would have a different outlook of what they've seen. That's what I think is cool about it. Because with art, nobody see no two, three people, no one or two people see any kind of art the same way. Like versus with music, everyone has their own relationship with the song. No one has that same relationship. You know what I mean? Like a big song that most people like, everyone is going to have a different interpretation about it because with the music, you refer onto yourself. You know what I mean? Like with great lyrics. With great lyrics, it takes you to a place, and it's personal to you. I like how each person has their own relationship with different forms of art. That's what's cool about it, especially when you hear somebody talk about it when they actually talk about it honestly.
Yeah, this one. What I find interesting about this one is a lot of people seem to not like Final Exam. Like they just find it to be too slow, or it doesn't have enough gore in it, which I get valid arguments there. It is a slow burn. It takes some time to get us to know these characters. But it's a slasher in its purest form. And
Yeah.
again, I've got a soft spot for that campus setting. It's just really, it's one of those things that in its time was probably unique as shit. But
Yeah.
it's been done to death at this point. But I find this one to be, it's solid. Again, a lot of it has to do, like you were saying earlier, the seeming lack of motive with the killer makes it great.
That's serial killer 101 right there, man.
Oh yeah,
just doing it because they like to do
it. I did a show a few years ago with one of my old buddies, Fachi's Cinema, I think is the channel name he's got now. We had a program that we would do like every 2 weeks, and one of the episodes we did was our top 10 horror films of 1981. Top 10 slashers mostly was what me and him were doing, because that's our favorite little subgenre. And everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was crazy for picking Final Exam. They're like, "Why would you pick that one? That one's not that great." It's like, no, Final Exam is the fucking tits, dude.
Yeah, not to you, but to me, that's what lists are all about. Lists are about you, not what anybody else thinks. I used to do a lot of countdowns. I haven't done one in a long time. I would actually like to do one again, because I haven't done one in a year and a half. I have a few of them on my channel. We did wrestlers, we did slashers, we did final girls, we did a lot of different shit. I would like to do a few more. You're more than welcome to do something with me if you ever want to.
Yeah, I know my schedule's kind of tricky. I mean, we had a bit of a tricky time getting this one set up just because of the way my work schedule's a bouncy little bastard. But yeah, I would definitely like to come back on here and
definitely
see what else we could crank out for the people.
Yeah, man, you get an open invitation, man. Just most definitely. That's just the way I am. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that I don't like streams with 5, 6, 7 people on the panel, because everybody is talking over everybody, and that fucks with my social anxiety. When there's 5, 6, 7 boxes on here, people talking, it freaks me the fuck out. 3's about the tops I would like to go. 4 sometimes, just depending on how I feel.
Yeah, I can totally get that.
That's why I don't join night streams that much anymore, because night always has a lot of
5 is probably the most at one time, I think.
Yeah.
It's like 5's almost pushing it.
Russell said he didn't like the killer's look. Hey, he just looked like a dude, man. He's just a dude killing people. That's what makes it unique. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot. Everybody had a gimmick back then, except for Sword House Massacre and Final Exam and people like that. They're just fucking crazy ass sociopaths going to kill people.
It's like if you go back to Black Christmas, Billy, if that's even his name,
right?
He didn't really have a look either. He was just a guy.
Yeah. I love how he never felt like he looked like. I love that.
That's one thing I think is really cool about Black Christmas. The original Black Christmas,
I love
is Billy even the guy's name?
Yeah.
It could have just been. It could have been a name that he threw out on the phone to fucking just for shits and giggles, you know?
Yeah, because he mentions Agnes too. They both might have just been 2 people he knew, because he goes through all that different. That motherfucker gives the best crank fucking obscene phone call I've ever heard. That motherfucker is the champ of obscene phone calls.
I would like it. It would piss every female I know off, but I would like to get those prank calls like somehow made into sound bites and use that as a damn ringtone.
Oh hell yeah, man!
So it's like anytime my phone would go off, it would just be calls. So one of those things you want to shock the people around you.
He's fucking great, man. He becomes a little kid. He fucking good. He snorts like a pig, man. This motherfucker just got it down. He's like 5 different motherfuckers on that phone.
Screaming. It's like screaming in like 4 different pitches all at one time. Like, what the fuck is this guy up to? Where's his mind at? You know?
Yeah, those crank calls given to you, that would scare any fucking body. You know that motherfucker just ain't right. You have no doubt whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in that same house with us. That was already time when they were doing that. They did 2 or 3 films where the killer was in the house. Now, I think that's where When a Stranger Calls falls short. The best part of that movie, if you've ever seen it, is the one where he's saying, "Have you checked the children?" Is about the first 20 minutes of that film is awesome. And then after that, it just jumps into this drag, slow ass drag.
Yeah. I checked out of it after that first opening there. Like,
yeah, it loses a lot.
Because like I saw that happen, I'm like, wait, did I just catch the end of this movie, or? And I take the tape out because I have it on tape here. Fucking the old tape here for that. Like first 20 minutes of this, it's really all you need. If you like I was so excited when I found this though at the thrift store for like 99 cents. It's like, oh, When a Stranger Calls. I liked that remake.
That's pretty good copy. Yeah.
But it's one of those heavy fucking tapes too. It's like throw this at someone, you're gonna break their head, and not the you're not gonna break the tape really.
Quality. When your tape is heavy like that, that's the best quality. If you get a movie and it's real light, that means it was made with very little bit of tape. That's a lot less quality. But if you get a film, one movie that's heavy as fuck as a VHS, that means they used a lot of tape. That's a lot better quality VHS.
Heck yeah.
All right, let me tell you my recommendations that I think that you would like, or ones I like that you probably haven't seen. All right, Pieces. We've already talked about that. Humongous. Have you seen Girl House?
Fuck, I might have seen a porno with that name, but I haven't seen Girl House as a horror movie.
It's a great slasher, man. It's got a killer named Loverboy. And it's really good. I recommend it highly. The original My Bloody Valentine. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Savage Streets? Linda Blair?
Nope.
House on Sorority Road?
That's a maybe.
Mountaintop Motel Massacre.
I haven't seen that.
That's a good one. That's cool. The Final Terror, we already talked about that. Splatter University, we already talked about that. Have you seen Just Before Dawn? That's a good one.
Oh. See, a lot of these freaking names kind of run together sometimes, so it's like I'm going to probably pencil that as a not yet.
Okay. I love that one. The final girl in that, what she does at the end of that, it's absolutely fantastic. Totally creative. Slaughter High.
Yeah, that one I've not seen.
Mother's Day 1980.
Mm-hmm.
1980. That's a good one.
Yes. Actually, I was so determined to get that, I actually got a Spanish copy of that one.
Kick ass, man.
Nice little Spanish import. That's a fucked up movie there.
Yeah. It's fucking great though, man. Queenies. Queenies.
Queenies out there.
Yeah, man. It's fucking that woman is so good, man. That woman and her two sons
boys make
so
your
good.
mother very proud.
Yeah, it's like fuck disco song. Sorority House Massacre.
That one probably, again, penciling that in. Which one?
There's a Sorority House Massacre and the Final Girls. That one's fun as fuck too. That's a new one.
Yeah, that one I know I haven't seen.
Okay.
Like, I'm slowly making my way through some of the more recent horror films.
The Hills Run Red was made in late 90s, early 2000s. Laid to Rest. That's the one that's got a chrome skull. Have you ever seen that? That's
no, but I've heard of that one.
It's good. The original Madman.
I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. I was actually talking with one of my buddies about that recently.
That's definitely the classic formula of the slasher and the big beast of the guy. Strange Land
Yeah.
from D. Snyder.
I saw that movie back when I was a little kid.
Good.
Haven't seen it since, but that's one of those ones I'm been wanting to revisit.
That's cool. Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984 with
Yes.
Billy. Okay.
Yep.
Stuart Gordon's Dolls. That's my favorite Dolls movie. I like it more than Puppet Master or anything.
That one I don't think I've seen.
I definitely recommend Dolls. It's like 87, 1987, I think it's when it's made. And Scarecrows. That's also from the late 80s. It's just called Scarecrows. Here, I'll show you a picture of it. It's damn good. It's definitely a sleeper that a lot of people don't talk about or know about. But everybody, this is a good ass show. Like Scarecrows. This is Screen Factory.
Huh.
This is one where
That
scarecrows
one I'm
actually fucking do something. You know what I mean? This is a scarecrow movie where the scarecrows actually fucking do shit.
I like that. Gonna have to check that one out.
And Fargo. That's all my recommendations. Also, this one. Here's my recommendations for everybody. This is a lipstick. It's got the Hemingway sisters and it's got Chris Sarandon. Chris Sarandon is a
Oh,
fucking asshole, fucking perverted rapist.
is that based off of the like the Chicago lipstick killings in the 40s?
No, this guy is just a fucking sick, perverted fucking rapist. But what happens
Oh,
in here
okay.
and what's done with him and everything with the Hemingway. That's the old. Everybody knows who Mariel Hemingway is. Well, this is I think it's Margot Hemingway. That's her older sister. And Chris Sarandon is fantastic. Chris Sarandon's awesome. And it comes at night. This is an early A24 film.
Yeah,
I
actually,
like A24.
that's actually a recent pickup of mine.
That's a good film.
Picked up the little A24
Excellent.
box set here. And
Oh,
it's
hell
one of
yeah.
those
Green
ones.
Room. Green Room. All
Green
those are
Room
good.
X, Hereditary.
Hey, boys.
Uh,
See, I hear you, Junebug. Like, well, for example, as a killer seems more like a real serial killer, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's true, Junebug. That's true, man. That man says behave, boys. She's kind of like the moderator. She just kind of keeps everything cool. Austin says, I have to say the shotgun enema at the end of I Spit on Your Grave 2010 is one of the best things ever filmed. Absolutely. I Spit on Your Grave movies are rough, man.
yeah, I've only seen the original one. I haven't checked out the remake for that one yet.
Do you like Last House on the original Last House on the Left?
Well, that's a weird question to answer. I like it, but it's not. It's one of those films that is an experience.
Right.
I enjoy it as a film, but it's definitely not a fun watch. I was actually listening back to the show you guys did last night talking about Spit on Your Grave and the conversation on Last House, and like I just found myself nodding the whole time. Like these guys are on fucking point with it. They're not fun films, but
yeah,
I feel like there's something about those films that the sort of what goes on in there is important enough that everybody should see it to some degree. Just because there is some sort of there's a very important message to be told in those films, if that makes sense.
definitely.
And I know to say that it sounds weird, but it's like I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say well enough there, but
Right. Yeah.
I just hope everyone understands kind of what I'm trying to get out there.
Yeah, definitely. Wouldn't like Pieces Man. Definitely think I think Pieces Man would like Pieces. Dude, Jimmy Hart says, "Man, it's so unintentionally hilarious, mind blowing." Okay, From Dusk Till Dawn is incredible. I'll tell you right now, From Dusk Till Dawn, I wish the whole movie was about the first 45 minutes was. You know, with Tarantino being this weirdo sexual killer, and you know what I mean, and you know, to me, I would like to see a whole film made about that, because I think
Oh
when it
yeah.
goes to vampires and shit, it becomes very Buffy. That's just my opinion. I wish there been a whole film about that, because I didn't like the vampire shit. Sorry, guys. I tried liking the film of terror, but it just drags for me. Oh, okay, Sean. Hey, man, you know, everybody's opinion's important, man. You know, was I saying opinions like assholes? Everybody's got one.
Yep.
And there's stuff. Now, the stuff is one I've never seen. Believe it or not, I've never seen. Scarecrows is awesome. Absolutely, it is. Yeah, I always try to recommend more entertaining horror movies to man. Hey, man started out with me on some fucking early bullshit, like good shit. She can handle it. Emily's sister, swing, super. Watch the stuff. Yeah, the stuff's definitely a lighter one. I have seen it though. But people getting addicted to ice cream stuff. Yeah, it's absolutely. Damn. I know the messages went so long. Look for both. I love the way the chat goes, man. We get 10, 15, 20 people in here, and a lot of times they're not even really listening to us or watching the film. They're just talking amongst each other, and that's what's cool about it. It's
Oh
just a
yeah.
little. I actually liked. Let me see. I actually kind of agree with Gore about Dos Padon. Oh, thank you, G-Bug. Yeah, to me, I loved that story that was going on with that. Then they did so good, man. Such good performances in that. Quentin Tarantino can act. I love Tarantino, man. I'm a big Tarantino fan. That's another group of films I would like to talk about and do watches of, because I don't think he's ever made a bad
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. The thing about
But yeah,
Tarantino's movies is like I feel like I could do a decent review for those, but I feel like I would be satisfied with it, but I feel like at the same time I might have too high of expectations for myself on that and end up feeling that I did a disservice even trying to sort of take a look at his films and discuss them openly.
you ever notice I've never done a movie review. The way I do my movie reviews is as I watch them or as I'm talking about them. That's how I review. I've never done a review. I don't think that I would be good at it. That's just not my thing. Most people do reviews. I've never done one in
Yeah,
fucking
there
what 200-300 videos. I've never done
it's an interesting format. Like it looks easy, but I find it's pretty tricky sometimes. Like
one.
I don't know, it sometimes it gets harder too because there's only so many times you could say yes, I like this aspect about it, and
Yeah,
some films you can only really talk about as you're going along with them. But what I tend to do is like lately I've been just talking about what I think the film sort of represents. Like I'll go into it in a little more of a.
right.
I mean, you've seen some of what I've been doing recently, right? I just kind of
Yeah,
look beneath the surface of it,
yeah. I
sort
think
of give.
I think you do a good job, man. I think you do a really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, man. Definitely, definitely. Um, you know, I probably still would have had you on if you didn't do such a good job. I still would have had you because I just like your realness and all that shit. But what triggered me to want to do it now as soon as possible was liking your work.
I
I
appreciate
like your
that,
outlook
man.
on
Thank you.
film. You know what I mean? Hey, ain't no problem, man. But that's part of the reasons why I don't do reviews. I'm now Ninja just said he thinks I would do a great deep dive into reviewing films. I appreciate that, and I probably could, but it's just not something that I have passion to do. I just don't want to do that. I want to show off the collection. I want to, as the film's plan, I want to talk about it. I don't want to just have a video of 10 minutes of me talking about a movie. I just don't. I'm just not feeling it. That's just how I am. I prefer to do it this way. I prefer discussions. That's my way of reviewing. It's still review.
Yeah, see, And that's what I do like about it too. Like, it definitely feels like it's, of course, a lot more of an open way to do it, is talking about it as the film goes along. It definitely creates room for not only for you to discuss it, but for a guest or co-host, anybody in the chat, and it's just, it becomes not just a discussion, but like a whole ass experience on top of the film, and
Yeah.
it's like a lightning in a bottle moment too, almost.
Yeah.
Especially when it's done in the live setting here.
Yeah.
And that I think is always great.
It's just how I have fun doing it. You know, I just thinking about myself sitting here and doing a video about a review doesn't strike me as fun. So it may be for other people, and that's fine. But for me, it doesn't feel like I would have fun doing it. So therefore, there's no reason to do it. This is all about enjoying yourself and the passion for the film. If you're not enjoying it, you can't have too much passion. There's no point in doing it.
Yeah, most of the fun I have, honestly, is in the editing process. Like, that's something I've been trying to work on a little bit lately.
That takes a long time, man.
Oh, it fucking does, and it's not easy, but I have a fucking blast doing it. It's like, listen to music really loud while you're doing it. Not too loud to where you can't hear the damn video trying to come together, but it's like, got music in one ear, the video in the other there. But it's like you should probably have the what?
Well, no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying it'd probably be beneficial to have both cams on at the same time and not have them divided when you're editing. But that's how I do it.
When I actually buckle down and do a video that I'm going to upload, like for instance on Exorcist 3 and Last House on the Left that I did with King Gore, I actually recorded those. Those weren't live. We did them as a discussion. I recorded it, and then I put, for the whole hour and a half, I put photos and shit in there. So as we talked about it, it showed all that, and that took a long ass time. So when I actually do that, I do it. I don't fuck around. When I actually do it, I do the full shit, all the pictures and everything. And that fucking takes forever. Like, you spend a half hour putting in, and you've only been through the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. You know what I mean? And you've already been doing it for a couple hours. That just, but I think visually that's cool.
Yeah, one thing the biggest pain in the ass is putting video footage in there.
Oh, wow.
Because you put the video footage over top of it, and depending on what service you use, I use Filmora when I edit. So you got to lock your boxes in one section there. Otherwise, you end up cutting this top video that you want to overlay, and you end up cutting and deleting the damn shit that you recorded. It's like, son of a bitch. It took me like 3 times to learn that lesson. Like,
yeah, and once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back, and that sucks, man. And it's always something that was really cool. You know what I mean? That's always the shit you end up losing. You never lose something that don't matter. You lose something you like a lot. That's one of those fucked up life things. It's like, when it happens, it fucking happens. Well, he put in his mouth. What are they fucking talking about, man? It's talking about eating snow and David Lynch, and it's just like, got a weird group here, man. That you've recently become a part of. Just so you know, we're a strange group.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, it's great, man. You never know what these guys are gonna be talking about.
It's like, now you got me interested, guys, and I'm fucking scrolling back here.
I fucking love these guys. They're always
my favorite ape is Chimney Pansy.
They're like a little.
My favorite ape is. What the fuck?
I always assumed it smelled yummy. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but it's really interesting. Biggest effect on me, and then every once in a while you get a comment from Junebug, and Junebug's comments have absolutely nothing to do with what they're talking about. Junebug will probably hear with some fact or something that has nothing to do with what they're talking about. It's like he's not paying any attention to their conversation.
That's always fun, though, because that throws a wrench in everything and kind of redirects the traffic, so to speak,
He's on his own level.
Gotta love that.
But yeah, man. I'll let you go here in a minute. I'm gonna keep you on ice for things you want to do, but I definitely appreciate you joining me for it, man. And definitely check out some of those films that I mentioned to you for sure, man.
Absolutely, man.
Certain ones I know you'll love. And yeah,
Yeah.
man, you definitely got to come back, man. I would love to
Oh,
collab some more. If you want.
yeah, most definitely, man. And thank you again for inviting me over.
Oh hell yeah,
It's like,
definitely.
I mean, I shared a, I don't know, is it a post? I posted something on the YouTube in the, I think it was in my community tab, I think, where I took this link and I shared it. And I think the way I described it pretty much sums it up well. It's like two underrated YouTube personalities tackle one of the grossly overlooked slasher films of the 80s.
Hell yeah,
That's what
that
tonight
works.
was, man.
I was called at one time a few
It's
months
like,
back. I think it was Jamie Hart called me. No, it wasn't Jamie Hart. God, who was it said that? No, it was Popping the Popcorn. Kate from Popping the Popcorn called me the most underrated YouTuber on YouTube. And I took that as a hell of a compliment.
yeah, that definitely, cause I've had different YouTubers call me that too that I've worked with in the past, where they'd be like, you're underrated. You're an underrated YouTuber. It's like, well, I appreciate that. That kind of makes me happy to realize that you see my value, but you realize that nobody else does. I like that.
Except for
That
the small
makes me
group.
happy.
But
It's like,
but this small group knows we are. And that's
oh
huge,
yeah,
man. That's important. To me, that's very I would much rather have all these people in the chat talking, enjoying each other, enjoying what we're doing, than to have 400 views on it. Because back in the winter, I was getting 5, 6, 700 views on my video, but my chat wasn't like they are now. Now my
yeah.
chat is so much better and so more active, and my views have went way down to 100 or whatever. I take that any day over the 6, 700 with no fucking chat.
Oh
Any
yeah,
day.
no, like 100% on that. Like, I would rather see like the same 5 or 10 names in the comments,
Yeah.
like names that I'm familiar with that are always there in just about every video that I put out. Like
Yes.
those are the names that I do it for after I do it for myself.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
any new names that come along, hey, that's great. Do you guys want to stick around? Because every now and again you'll get those people who come along for a few
Yeah.
videos and
Then
then
you
they
never see him again.
disappear. It's like into the
Hopefully,
wind. Like, what
hopefully
the
you've got some
fuck?
more people tonight. Hopefully you've
Well,
got some more people. Hopefully you got some of my people. And hell yeah, man. That's part
yeah,
of what inviting you was about too. Is I seen a lot of value in what you do, and I wanted my circle of YouTubers to know you. So
and I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate that to all the people out here in the chat: Jamie, Sean, Russell, Zodiac. Fuck,
Austin, yeah,
there's quite a few different names. Like all you guys, I'm looking at the first 4 here that I can read, and I'm not great at reading stuff off the screen out loud, as you guys may have noticed there. Just very slowly and questioningly reading your names.
yeah.
But no, it was definitely a fun time. I think we all passed. We all passed
Hell
the
yeah,
exam
man.
tonight, I think.
Yeah. That's the final exam. But yeah, man.
No
Thanks
no
everybody for
flunkies
joining
here
us
tonight.
as usual. Pardon? Oh
Oh,
well,
no
yeah.
funkies here tonight.
Right. But yeah, thanks everybody who joined us again as usual. You're much appreciated. I will see you guys again Sunday. Do you have anything that you want to plug real quick before we get off here?
Um yeah, just real quick,
What do you
I
do?
guess what I've been doing recently is I've been going through John Carpenter's complete filmography, like all of his horror stuff and his non-horror stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing that I'll be doing is the review for They Live, where I'm going to talk about the
Cool.
movie as a film, but I might touch on some of the social connotations that the film has to offer. In that, I will plug a watch party that I did for that a few years ago.
Cool.
If you guys want, you can go check that out. It was done in, if I remember, in like a standard commentary type track, whatever. So I like to think maybe that was listenable. I haven't revisited it. I don't really look at my old stuff after I do it usually. So
I don't either. I hate watching myself. I
but
don't do it.
yeah, I'm working on the John Carpenter stuff, but also got some stuff that I've got coming up for October. I'm starting to work on some of that because little sneak preview. I plan on having 31 days of content for October, so
very cool.
A lot of that I want to just have some of it ready and just get it out, you know. So that's pretty time consuming. But
very cool. Yeah,
look for They Live for sure, though, guys.
Cool. Well, as far as my list goes of what I'm doing, Thursday night I will be on the Sean Blue Digital and JT's horror discussion, and we'll be doing, like I said, the Trey Canale Rimbalzo, which is the 3-channel bounce. This week we're bouncing over to JT's channel and we're doing Pulsing Zombie 3. So definitely check that out on his channel. Sunday I'll be back here for the Sunday afternoon matinee at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and this time I'm doing a watching discussion on the 1975 iconic summer blockbuster Jaws. And then Monday night, the 7th of August at 11 p.m., a week from yesterday, I will be doing Dead and Buried. And then Tuesday, Sean and I will be back. We'll be picking up where we left off on For the Horror of It, episode 18. And we will be discussing and watching Practical Part 4, the final chapter. That's what's on the docket. Yeah. But yeah, that's the shit you're going to be getting from both of us. Thanks again. I will catch you guys if I see you Thursday. If not, I'll see you Sunday. Thanks again to Dan. That's Filthy Dan from Department of Fear. And of course, you guys know I am Goroflow and you are not. Have a great night. Take it easy, Dan.
Later.